wonderful Christmas? You're so quiet and well behaved. Did everyone have a wonderful Christmas? Let me ask you again. Did everyone have a wonderful Christmas? Yes! That's what I wanted to hear. Get the energy up, and everyone out there in Facebook land as well. I trust you all had a wonderful Christmas. So I am Reverend Lynn Chaplin-Noe, and you are sitting right here at the Pleasant Valley Center for Spiritual Living, and you there in Facebook land got the correct address. You are here. Okay, so we have a wonderful, wonderful morning planned, a celebratory morning. This is the last Sunday of December, so we have Pamela Bailey, who I don't see yet, but I'm sure she'll be here, and Reverend Pam is going to be here doing the Flames of Faith. We have Buzz Noe, he always does the announcements, and the maestro, Alberto Dal Pino, is here. Yes, he deserves applause. Even before you didn't have to play, and they applauded. That's good. That's darn good. So we have a vision. Our vision is awakening humanity to its spiritual magnificence. And we have a way of doing that here. And that is of being soulful, being compassionate, being love, and being an agent of change. And so now I'll go within briefly and have an opening treatment and open up this room to all manner of good. So let's close our eyes, please. And in this wonderful moment, in this celebration moment, on the heels of Christmas and family and friends and gatherings, and all of these gatherings had one thing in common, and that was love. And that is the source of all life. Love. Love is all there is. And I know that, and I know that with certainty, that I am, speaking in the I am, and everyone present, and all life everywhere is a divine expression of God. Love. Life. And knowing this, then, I know that this service today is a grand outpicturing of the consciousness of everyone present. This service today is a great outpicturing of love, as we are so full and so grateful and so happy to be here, and so happy to be on the heels of a brand new experience in 2025. And so I'm grateful, very grateful for these truths of oneness with Source and of the possibility and the potential that we're stepping into right here and right now as we release the past, unloading anything that no longer serves us, and bringing into the present moment possibility, potential, and pure love. So I allow Divine Mind to take care of the details as to how all of this shall unfold while I enjoy this beautiful, joyous service. And together we all say, and so it is. And so it is time to bring Reverend Pam up here to do the Flames of Faith. Your Indian outfit on. Yeah, you got dressed up today. Here you go.
Oh, good morning, everyone. It's good to be in your presence. Hi. When Reverend Lynn said, "And who are you?" I thought it was a test, a memory test for all of us here. And so I'm grateful you answered that for us. So I am Reverend Pam Geagan, and to embody our principles, we have our candles of faith. It is the greatest way of how what we believe is that every religion, every divine being on this planet is connected by that one strongest thread, and that is love. And so when I pass any synagogue, temple, church, any place, I know that there is love being spoken there for the highest good of all. So that is why we have the candles of faith. And it is the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come for that one great universal presence, which we call spirit. And fundamental to this truth, the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience is what we honor here today. So we light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. And we light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles, of which the Center for Spiritual Living worldwide practices. We light the candle for all those who are as yet unaware of the power and the presence of spirit in their lives, and for the space that we are holding for them at this center for all religions unnamed in this ceremony. And so I ask you to just place your hand on your heart, or just breathe in deeply with a divine is, God is, Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, whatever it is that resonates with your highest being on the in-breath, and I am on the out-breath. For as we light the healing candle, we ask that you put silently into the light the names, places, experiences you would like the world, beginning with you, to experience in that healing flame of God's eternal love. And on this note, as we let go, we let the divine fill our hearts, our minds from above, out into the world, from the body onward, outward, from where we stand right now to all of the universes, not just our world, but all of the universes and all the universe yet to be named. And so I let this go, and I call today good and very good. And now, and how is, by the way, this is our Christmas birthday boy. And how was your Christmas and birthday? Good. Well, okay, welcome home. And now it's my honor to introduce the Christmas boy, the Christ himself, as we all are. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Happy last Sunday of the year. How did that happen already? Right? And Alberto, do you have some Celtic blood? You must. He plays the most beautiful Irish songs. So anyway, just wanted to acknowledge that. Thank you. All right, and I'm Pamela Bailey. In case you don't know me, most of you do, and I'm the practitioner of the day. Will the practitioners present please stand? That includes Dr. Sue sitting in the back. Oh, with her hand raised. Okay, and so would you please introduce yourselves?
Oh, well, nobody can hear us.
Okay, sorry. All right, so we have in the front row here, we have Reverend Pam Geagan, Reverend Lynn Chaplin-Noe, Buzz Noe, and back there in the back we have Dr. Sue Rubin, and we have Marcia, who is the master behind all of these things that occur here. So we are the practitioners. We're small and mighty, and whatever's going on in your life, it would be our privilege to treat with you, knowing that the best outcome is available and is occurring right now. So this year, this month, the theme has been a grand arising, and the Centers for Spiritual Living theme. This month, it's called Sticking the Landing, which I get it. You know, if you're a gymnast, if you don't stick the landing, you're not going to get the points, and you're not going to get the, you know, those beautiful trophies and to stand up on that platform and all of that. But what's really important is ending so that it's complete, and that completion of whatever it is, that gymnastic event, all of the parts are important, and you certainly don't want to get the twisties like Simone Biles did, but you really want to land firmly and then be able to step forward off the mat into the next thing. So today, Dr. Sue is speaking about renounce, reclaim, and rejoice. And so I see Marcia waving back there. In any case, and so it's going to be wonderful. We're going to do a little exercise. You will find out about it in a moment. But what I'd like us to focus on is, we've been looking at how we can live, how we can be a grand arising, and how we can live out loud, and how all of these things that we've been looking at all year can come to pass. But I'm not sure what Sue's going to say, and it's always wonderful. The thing that I see in that renounce is like, be done with what's done. And so this is the end of the year. Let us complete. And it's really important when we want to create something new that we have an open space in which to do it. You know, it's like if I want to clear out my bedroom, what I need to do is first, like if I'm going to clean out the drawers, dump everything on the bed and have them all empty so I can put the stuff in and, throw away, give away whatever I don't need anymore. And so it isn't that I just go in the drawer and move stuff around. That doesn't do anything. I mean, all the junk is still there. So, and I hear chuckles from here, there, and everywhere. And I know, especially as the years go by, we accumulate stuff. And that stuff does not add to our lives. So anyway, so the first thing about renouncing or like creating that open space is, have it be clear. And if it's something that you can't get rid of right now, whatever it is, it may be an emotional thing or a person in your life, like there's this process called bracketing. So you look at what it is and you put it aside. Not that you're going to put it in a box and take it down to the garage, but that you're putting it aside for now so you can clearly create. And then in that space, you can create. And then once you've created, what there is to take action. At first you think of it in your mind, you speak it in your words, and then you create it in your life. And then, and this is the last one of Sue's thing, is that we're going to rejoice that there are these beautiful things that we are allowing in by opening ourselves, by being available to all that good that is already present. And so at this time, I get to do quotes. I left one at home, is my true confession, but there's one that has to be one of my very favorites. And this is like looking into the new year. And that is from Howard Thurman, who's a very famous African-American theologian. He says, don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive and go do it. Because what the world needs most is people who have come alive. And so on that, I am just going to very quickly do a prayer, and then we have Pam coming back up again to talk about this special thing that we're doing today. So as we're here together on this last Sunday of the year, and knowing that this is a sacred place, and each and every person here is here by divine appointment. And so in that place of our divinity being expressed, knowing that God is, I am, and I am the master of my own fate. I am creating and responsible for what I have in my life. And so as I recognize this, I rejoice that I can declare and create that today is the best day of my life, and it is the beginning of the finest chapter. And so as I stand in that truth and that possibility, I am so grateful for everything that brought me here, that brought each and every person here today. And in that, I give great thanks once again, and knowing it is all unfolding perfectly in its own time, I release this, and together we say, and so it is. Thank you very much. And up comes Reverend Pam.
Thank you, Pamela Bailey. And that quote was perfect, because we are looking upward and onward into doing the best to become even greater, revealing our greatness this year. Dr. Sue has created, and you'll see on your seats, something wonderful to start the new year, to renounce, reclaim, and then rejoice in the newness of all there is. And so there's little slips of paper on your seat, and it says, my affirmation prayer request for 2025 is, and you can say a few words or one word. And I don't want to be a spoiler, but mine is peace, more peace within, more peace without. It's as simple as that. And then afterwards, after we get your slips, I'm sure she'll outline what we're doing here. We're going, all the practitioners, oh, okay, you're going to be collecting them. Okay, great. All the practitioners are going to be praying for each and every one of your highest desires for 2025. So I just wanted to clarify that, and to fill out your slips before the end of the service. And now it's our wonderful Alberto again.
everyone. And Happy New Year in advance on the day that is and on all the days that follow. So will you please affirm with me? I renounce all limitations in my life. I renounce all limitations in my life. I reclaim my original, eternal, divine identity. I Yes, I reclaim my original, eternal, divine identity. And I rejoice in knowing who and what I am. I rejoice in knowing who and what I am. Wouldn't it be wonderful if from that point onward we suddenly find everything in our world becomes wholesome and healthy and happy and great creativity that comes forth from each and every one of us? And that is possible because I want to make today a reclaiming of the most underutilized tool there is, which is spiritual mind treatment, which is simply treating our mind, our very busy, as the Buddhists would say, monkey mind. Oh, look, a banana here. Oh, there's another one over there. And we flit, and there's certainly enough in the world to be flitting and floundering and frustrated about. However, we're here to see that, yes, a gentle, compassionate acknowledgement of that which is going on in life, but it's simply a reflection globally of what's going on locally and personally within our own lives, because consciousness is the great determinant whether we like it or not. So in looking at this past year, which it's a natural inclination as the calendar rolls to remind ourselves, oh yes, it's Christmas, it's Hanukkah, which it still is, by the way. Happy New Year. So the calendar is simply a reminder of something that happens every day that really has its initiation within the awareness that we continue to develop from a sense of, am I merely a mortal that occasionally has an enlightening experience that takes me beyond my normal, average, everyday contemplations and activities? Or is it really that reclaiming of my divine identity, as we've been told for many years now, that I am a spiritual being that is reflecting my element, my degree of spiritual awareness through my human activities and experiences. So whether you liked this past year or whether you found it too painful, whether you hid your light under a bushel and pretended things weren't happening the way they are, or you thought, well, I'll just look past it all to better days. It happens. Whether we liked it or not, life is exactly what reflected back to us in the macrocosm. Something about all of us personally and collectively coming to a point of saying, I've got to clean up my own side of the street before I can express anything or see anything differently in my neighborhood, in that which extends beyond the local, to my state, to my United States, to the world. And I was looking at what happened to the world on the positive side and on the not so positive side. And of course, we know what happened. We still have the war raging in Israel and in Palestine. We still have war raging in Ukraine and in Israel. And we still have Iranian conflicts that are starting to be upcoming, as well as many other places throughout the world. And here at home, We see war in that which is political dissension and divisiveness, and mass murders are still happening. Gun control is still out of control. Economically, it may look in the statistics like inflation is decreasing and things are looking good, but not for the average Joe and Janes. And in the world of ergonomics, in the world of the environment, my goodness, global warming, and both sides of the fence seem to be prevalent. Those who see it and acknowledge it and want to do something about it, and those who aren't interested or too frightened. So that which is outpictured will always point us back to that level of awareness that the power of prayer still remains the answer that all of us have been searching for throughout time, whether it has been of a variety more fundamental and traditional of begging and beseeching an external power, looking to be good so that we receive good, or whether we come to a point of consciously affirming that, as Ernest Holmes, the founder of Science of Mind, said, there is a power for good in the universe. And he said we can use it. I prefer to say, and we're using it all the time. The point is, am I using it consciously or am I using it subconsciously and predominantly unconsciously? So in the mix that is available, I want today to be more of a mindful experience where I can recultivate, redevelop, recognize, as well as renouncing the limits and reclaiming the idea that if truly I am originally and eternally a divine essence of being filled with all the intelligence, all of the compassion and love and kindness, God blesses you through you as you. It is, right here and right now, you know. And if you and I can get to the point where that's how we live, that becomes our living, walking, talking, thinking, consistent, repetitive pattern, that I don't have to fall into the nays and the naysayers and also comply with and agree with, whether silently, overtly, the idea that, oh my God, what's going to happen? We don't know. The bottom line is, through one of the events, I think we had an election this year. Is that right? Or did I miss it? And there are both sides to that. People who are very happy with the results and people who are not very happy. And certainty has always been a factor, that we can be consciously directing the flow and the direction in which we'd like to see our life go, and yet the surprises still come forth. Remember Forrest Gump? And he would often be sitting on that bench or running his way through America, and he would always quote his mom, who said that life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Well, I would say yes and no. You do have an intention and a possibility of making more conscious decisions about what you would like to have happen in your world. The surprises are that we still get the results of whatever we really think, really believe, really find most meaningful and significant in our world. So those are the surprises. And what is it that I can offer myself? And the assignment from last week was that you spend this week doing some contemplation, some journaling, some idea of doing an annual review of what was this life last year, the year 2024. What was that about? And what would I see as value in letting go of things that no longer serve me. They're just not a valuable, meaningful part of my life. They're not contributing to me moving upward, onward, and forward. So I came upon a discovery, and perhaps some of you have already made that discovery. There's a woman called Mel Robbins. Anybody familiar with her? Yes. And I just found her, and what I found was what she called her annual audit. Has anybody seen her annual audit? By which she asks 7 questions as you're reviewing your life and creating that vacuum through which something new can emerge. She has a podcast. She's written, I think, 1 book, and it's called Let Them. Let them do what they want. You know, we put so much focus on, oh my God, if only he would or she would do this, I would be more empowered and inclined to do that. Oh, if only they, it, things, stuff, people, places. Oh, if I could just see everybody in a different way, position them in a different way, life would be so good. And her theory is, let them do whatever they want. That has nothing to do with you. What has to do with us is what I do within my own inner drawing board of my mind, my consciousness. And in the science of mind, we simply know, as in other metaphysical teachings, that the degree to which I consistently think and put my attention on things, those are the things that are going to manifest, which simply means if I put my attention on continuing to read every aspect of the hard newspaper or social media, I will continue to see more antagonism, more anger, more divisiveness, more separation, more of the unnice aspects of human nature. Yes, we have the spiritual component to that on the other side, and yet it seems to be the human part of our mentality and emotionality that finds it way easier to give energy to and get reactive to the things that are not so pretty, nice, loving, kind, generous, or spiritually inclined. So the 7 questions are what I'm going to run by you really fast before we get to inputting the information that leads us out of yesterday and into today and what I want to see tomorrow. And you can see those 7 questions on either just Google Mel Robbins, Robbins, or I even have a better idea. You can go home after today and watch today's service again and be reminded of a couple of things you may forget in the translation from here to when we walk out into our cars and it's like, what the heck did she say again? So the first question is, what were the highlights of my year? What was really encouraging and rewarding and significant and fulfilling? The highlights. You know, I checked the highlights for the year 2024, just globally and nationally, and the only 2 things I could come up with were the Olympics, the Summer Olympics, and what was the other thing? Whatever it was, for me, it was Dancing with the Stars because 2 of the Olympiads were on Dancing with the Stars, so I just put the 2 together. And they were fantastic. They came from out of nowhere right into the finals. The other thing was, whatever it is, it must have been magnificent that I remember it so clearly. So, and the simplicity of what this first question does that this lady reminded me of. If you don't remember, you know, if you would have said, oh my God, like now, I forgot what the other significant event in the world was. The other thing is Oh, I know what it was, the solar eclipse, where people came together, just like at the Olympics. And for those moments, life took on a rosier hue and possibilities seemed to sparkle. So go to your smartphone photos if you want to remember where was it, which I did last night. So I realized that my granddaughter became engaged. That was a highlight, which gave rise to another highlight, an engagement party, where I saw my youngest son's first wife. He's only had two. Come on, that's not so terrible. His first wife, who I haven't seen probably in 15 years. So that was lovely. I was up in Montecito a week with my youngest son and daughter-in-law and their kids, which was fantastic. I had a lot of social time with friends from years ago that I met probably in the mid-'90s when I arrived at the Westlake then Church of Religious Science. We got together a lot of family contact, and just life growing under my feet. The fact that I've been with you for how many years? More than 10, probably once a month for sure, and the contacts we've made. And so we can track and see the highlights. Question number 1. Question number 2, what were the low points, obviously? What can I point to that were the ouches, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually? And how was I in the midst of them, which gives rise to the third question, what did I learn in 2024 through most likely the highs, the lows, and what they tended to signify? So what I learned about myself was that along with all of my fellow humans who momentarily beget their original, eternal, divine identity, I can be inconsistent in doing my practices. I can allow myself to be caught in the distractions, the irritations, the impatience, the frustrations, and the friction, which I can point to if I'm looking to blame or feel victimized. I can look outside myself and, give myself justification for having a lot to be disturbed and unsettled about and uncertain about. But the largest thing that I discovered about myself is up to very recent times in my life, I never considered aging as anything that I personally had a thing to do with. It was just like I kept on doing my merry thing through the years, and it was kind of shocking. And I think what stopped me was in 2 years ago being hit by a car as a pedestrian, which that I could point to as like, I had nothing to do with that. I had the crosswalk. I had the way of moving. And yet how dare this person to not look when she made a right turn and to hit me as I stepped down off the curb. I was there. I made that appointment, whether I can consciously or subconsciously or unconsciously admit to it. And those are the sticking points. And the first thing I learned in Science of Mind, because at the time, back in the 70s, it was very easy to judge myself and others. Remember that old line, what's in your consciousness? You have a cold. Oh, my goodness. Horrors to be. And, that's simply the way it was. How many of you join me in going back either in the 70s or earlier to Science of Mind or Unity? 2 of us, 3 of us, 4 of us. We grow in numbers. There we are. So in the early days, too, I learned the Science of Mind. I truly don't know, and call it a judgment or call it an observation, how much of that I really hear or see anymore. I picked up, which I have a collection of October issues through the years of the Science of Mind magazine. And I like that one because it's annually, always, that month devoted only to the writings of Ernest Holmes. And when I read those treatments, I just have such an appreciation for the clarity and the absolute undeviating belief in simply affirming that there is one life, that life is God, that life is a nature of whole, complete, and perfect energy, love, and intelligence, and that's my divine potential. That's what the personal development people talk about in accessing the word God or spirit or anything specifically spiritual, divine, doesn't get mentioned, but that is what is implied. There's something within you that has the capacity to rise to, through, above, and beyond, and transcend any condition by letting that be absorbed by this higher energy, frequency, vibration, however you want to refer to it, and certainly the world of the physical sciences are referring to it more and more. So if I can find out something more about myself, and when willing, do something about it, that third question, what have I learned from the highs and what have I learned from the lows? Because there is a common denominator. Nothing, absolutely nothing in this universe is separate from everything else. It's all this wondrous unification of something that finds its source and just spreads out multifactionally, multidimensionally in every which way. The next question, beyond the high, the low, what did I learn? What is it that I want to start this new year? What is it that already is something within me that's impelling me forward? What is that certain nudge that I'm receiving at this deepest level of my being? And what follows that immediately is what needs to stop before I can get there. What is stopping me from doing the things I value most and find most meaningful to me? They're the things that bring the spark of joy into every facet of my being. Everything is simply a greater idea than the ones I've used up to this point, and yet that which pertains to me is the beauty and magnificence of how this universal mind specializes itself and says, this is for you, and this is for you, this is for you, this is for all of us, and how it all fits into a perfect divine mosaic. It all fits because we've all discovered something greater than ourselves that touches the greater universality of that big mind through the use of our smaller minds, and yet that are hooked directly into the universal. So what do I start? What do I stop? And an important one, what do I carry forward? What do I keep doing that I know sustains a more balanced experience of the high and the low, something that is that quote-unquote happy medium. And that happy medium is the things that are already stored, the things I've already experienced, the things that I've always been drawn to. There is nothing that I can think of, very broad statement, that I'm still doing today that I started doing back in the 70s when I discovered Science of Mind. When I have a class or a talk or something to present in writing, I still love and do the same creative process. Saturday night, I own the world. It's me and my pad. I won't do it on computer. That just isn't me. I'm still the old day with the legal pad and the pens, and I write and I think and I pull from here, there, and everywhere, and that just is my joy. And I wake up the next day, I give it a scan, and then as I'm standing here, I'm saying, you didn't think of half of this last night. Where did this come from? Because there is that which knows what it wants to have said, and yet the old statement used to be, God works best through a prepared mind. Give me a clue about what you want, and I'll give you more than you can even imagine. So, what to stop, what to start, what to continue. And the final question, what can I do today that gives it all a kickstart? What can I do today? I know for me, what I can do today is break the routine of going to sleep too late and getting up too late. Oh my goodness. Ask me anything about all of the weekly late night shows, and I'll tell you what Steve and the two Jims are up to. Right down to the last event. I've got to cut that out because unless I have a specific appointment, I can easily kind of stretch and yawn and go, oh, it's 10:30. I guess maybe it's time to get up. And I can also be more consistent with my spiritual practices because I shared before, I, along with the rest of the world, can deviate and stray and go, oh, I'll do it later. I'll meditate later. Nope, not acceptable. And in that nature of something greater within myself and within you, I know that that's the most valuable thing I can do. The thing that is most meaningful is finding myself, giving myself that willingness through the practice of meditation, first thing in the morning, of mindfulness, of doing whatever sacred readings I find inspiring, and of journaling, and just not, setting an intention becomes a buzz phrase, but it's really what does the divine want to experience by means of me today? And invariably, that unexpected something where I find someone in Starbucks and they'll say, oh, I meant to call you for a treatment. And I pull them aside and I say, well, here I am. Ask me right now. Let's just do it. What? Here? Again, what will they say? Let them say whatever the heck they want. Now is the time. Mind, spirit, creative intelligence does what it does in the moment. Everything that has been or will be is already melded into whatever I'm knowing right here and right now. Nothing is disconnected. So, you have a piece of paper before you. And we have our practitioners in the room. And what's going to happen is I'm just going to do a brief spiritual mind treatment, an affirming conscious prayer, and with that, silence, so you can just answer the question that's on there that simply relates, what is it that I really want to bring forth as a feeling and experience for this coming year? What is it that perhaps has been sitting on the back burner spinning and I move it aside, but it keeps knocking on my door? That's the consciousness of God saying, if not now, when? If not you, who? And if you're only drawn into self-absorbed ideas about yourself, of what value is that? What does that do for the world, which really needs conscious, life-affirming beings to come together in unity so that the whole world is unified? So you know what you want. Is it courage? Is it consistency? Is it a release from fear, from antagonism, for uncertainty, and resisting the time passing by? It is, whether we like it or not, time is moving on. And the idea is for you and I to move ahead of it listening to what it has already been prompting us about. So as I sit here, I do it silently. I let go of that which inhibits me from simply being a clear instrument through which divine intelligence and unconditional love move forth through and by means of me in perfect harmony, balance, and order. I set aside and let go of what no longer serves. I know what that is. I probably have known it for a while, and yet now it rises to the surface with such an obvious knowing that the time to do what I know needs to be done is to release the fear, the resistance, the lethargy, that which inhibits the pure and perfect flow of what this world needs right here, right now, through, from, and as myself, in order to join that collective march of consciousness toward greater good. So I just sit for a moment in silence before just letting that which emerges tell me what it is that wants to emerge through and by means of me. It's simple, it's obvious, it's right here where I am, and I now agree to let it appear right on the paper, directly from the consciousness of God as me. I do that, for I am that which wants to come forth. And so it is. And when ready, I write that. I take pen or pencil to paper, and I let the subjective become objective by seeing that which I know. And so when ready, I gently open my eyes, coming back to the room with an expression of deep gratitude for agreeing to the wisdom already indwelling me that guides me upward and forward, so that I am more fully alive in 2025. And so it is that we will connect the requests, and our practitioners will join me up here and we're going to rotate. No names, dates, or places, but we're just going to say what your request is and then rotate. Each one will do a spiritual, conscious, affirmative prayer on that right now.
Sue, I have a question.
Hmm?
So are we, as practitioners, do we take one and do that one, or does everyone treat all the ones that come in?
We're just going to collect these and then distribute.
We're going to collect them first,
Okay.
right, without names on them.
Right.
Okay.
So,
Okay, so we'll,
yeah,
pass around the
a
basket.
basket or an empty. Read my mind. Okay, practitioners, join me. Up here.
When ready.
Okay, bring them on up here, please.
And we have to do that. Everybody gets their own wipe. Okay. Okay, here, honey. Yeah,
Now, what are
Buzz,
we
yeah.
wiping, our faces, our hands?
No, the mic.
Yeah. Keep it quiet, keep it quiet. Okay.
Okay, here's Sue.
Someone start.
Okay, we just take one and then,
Just take a bit and pass.
just one.
So we start.
Yeah, and then, if anybody wants to add to that? And if anybody wants to add to that, or
No,
let's go.
no, we're just gonna each treat one.
Gosh, excuse me.
Keep it going.
Huh? Oh, yeah. Does anybody want to start with theirs, or?
She's got the
Start.
mic, then.
Yeah, you got the mic, Toots.
Oh, I've got the mic. Okay. So much has happened that I cannot declare or declare a prayer. Can you read this for me, sweetheart?
So much has happened that I cannot declare a prayer request on my behalf for 2024-25.
Oh, okay.
You want to start?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, sounds like you. Okay.
Absolutely.
So much has happened. You just. She didn't No.
Yes. Well, let's do in the consciousness of a community, as I speak in the first person, be sending love to this particular comment. So let's close our eyes, please, and know collectively in this community that we are all, each one of us, a divine expression of the one, of God, of intelligence, universal intelligence. Each and every one of us has within us all of the answers that we shall ever need, all of the opportunities that we shall ever need to express the divine. And each and every one of us is a divine, individualized expression of the one. Therefore, each and every one of us possesses within ourselves the intelligence that is needed, that is required from me, and that is provided to me by Spirit. The intelligence to know with absolute certainty my own divinity and my own worthiness and that I am, by right of consciousness, a divine soul, seeking, learning, teaching, being, and that above and beyond the appearance of whatever is happening in my life, and whatever is happening that has the appearance of happening to me, I know that I am worthy, and that I'm intelligent, and that I accept it all as a great gift from the One. That's my divine right, to accept that everything that happens in my life as a divine contract to express and to learn and to understand and awaken to my own magnificence. I am magnificent, and there is only opportunity and only learning and only generosity within me to myself. I direct to myself all manner of love and appreciation for my abilities and for my intelligence and for my good and for the fact that I show up here every Sunday to give the best of myself.
It's supposed to be short.
Oh, and it's supposed to be short. So I accept my own excitement to express to this person who wrote this request for this prayer, that this is the prayer. And I'm grateful for it, and I release it into mind, allowing Divine Mind to take care of it, while I enjoy and appreciate my divine self right here and now. Cut.
And so it is. Yes. And well, why don't we just do another one then? Or no? Because there's so many. No, I meant.
Now we're going to do this one.
Yeah, now I'm going to do this one. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is I would like a lifelong loving partnership. And so what is so interesting about this is that let us just go within really quickly and just connect with the divine love that's within me. And as I let the barriers go and open up to it, I know divine right timing, divine right absolutely attraction attracts me to the right and perfect partner that not only challenges me to grow, but that I can grow within that relationship as they do. And I pass this on, and so it is.
Thank you. And the request here is for health and well-being for a friend's daughter currently in the hospital, and health and well-being for a 95-year-old aunt, and peace within our country and the world. So as I know that right here, right now, there is only and always God expressing in, through, and as each and every person and event and place. So as I know this, I know that all of these things are possible, and I allow Spirit to take charge, to follow through on the highest and best for all of these people, for the aunt, for the daughter in the hospital, and for our more peaceful world, beginning within me and each and every one of us. And I know this is so, and unfolding perfectly, and on to Sue.
A more perfect, peaceful world. So I know right here and right now that peace is the nature of God, as me, as all, as the universe itself. There is only the singular, unified oneness of life, and it is personified by the peace I accept, I realize consciously, accept subjectively, seeing it for me and seeing it ripple out for my friend, my family, the neighbor, the world at large, for which I give thanks, and so it is.
Yes, I have one that asks for this. This person would like to be more present and to continue to have a great relationship with another significant other. And this is what we have in our lives. As we go forth, knowing this is going to be coming about, it does come about. And that's the way you go forth. Just have that positive attitude about life. God will be there to bring that forward to you, and you can then enjoy life as much as anyone can in this human condition. And so it is.
I still can't read it. Yeah, my eyes are so blurry today.
It's okay. Well, God, health for my family and me. Good health. And good health, God health. Well, good
And
health.
good health for my family.
Better than God.
And good. Okay, God. Okay, health. Good health. Good health. Let's close our eyes, please, and know that good health is present right now as my divine right to express and to be the very picture of health. I am perfect, whole, complete, exactly the way I am, above and beyond any appearances. I am always revealing the perfect me. And so it is.
And this one is for my mom, my sis, and Eddie. And oh yeah, world peace too, for our center to be more robust as well. And so I think the key in this word is peace. So as I breathe in peace within me, and no matter what the circumstances are, how they are perceived literally are lifted, that there's love and peace in every single moment that I experience with all people, not only family, and I see it in me and it outpictures in the world. And as daunting as that seems, I bring myself back to center at all times, knowing God is, I am, and there's only peace, and so it is.
All right. So the affirmative prayer request here is to express myself better. So as I know that within me and within each and every person here, there are truths and there are messages to inspire, to grow, to bring greater good, greater light to life right where I am, I know that I am guided and I am given thoughts and words to express myself better, whether it is orally or in my actions or in my writings. I know that God is speaking through me, as me, and making it a better world by doing so. And together we say, and so it is.
Okay. To have a toy motorcycle and a pizza motorcycle. Well, I know there was nothing foreign or unreasonable to the mind of God. And so whatever it is that I implant as a deeply felt true desire of my heart, my mind, and my body, I know it is already fulfilled in the mind of God. I accept that as being so right here and right now, and I delight in riding and eating my motorcycle, for which I give thanks, and so it is.
Yes, I have another one here that is an acknowledgement and a request for trust. So, along with trust, this person would like to have patience, courage, ease, joy, create a loving, healing, new life at home, a loving new home. And these things, once again, will occur more readily the more we acknowledge that they're here, the more that God is there to bring them to us. And that's the way we go through life. As you acknowledge your life as being the oneness with God and God creating the wonder for you that you would have, it's going to be there. And that's the way we have to go through our lives, and so it is.
What?
The old one.
Oh, the old one? Oh, I hadn't read that. I hadn't read that one. Okay, so I'm reading this one instead. Holding light and love as we move in turbulent times. All right, let's close our eyes, please, in the consciousness of trust. and in a consciousness of the presence, the ever presence of intelligence that teaches us all we need to know when we need to know it. And this culture, this human race, and all life are imbued with this intelligence. It's the intelligence of God. And so I accept this. I accept that in these turbulent times, I know that above and beyond the appearance, there is always a gift. And the gift is love. I step forward in love. And that is my emblem. That is who I am. And so it is.
So it is. To be on the path that is my divine purpose. So what I know right here and right now is the path I am on as I stay in the I am is my divine purpose. It is my divinity when it connects with its highest in those quiet moments that what calls to me is who I am in my highest integrity and nobility. So that is what I turn to. What is the highest and best for me? And to continue onward and upward on this wonderful thing called life that absolutely enlightens me with every step I take on my path. I embrace it, love it, and move forward. And so it is.
All right. This is a request for heart-forward surrender, acceptance, and embrace. See beyond appearances, allowing anxiety to wash away. Embrace health, wealth, and exercise. All right. So with this request, knowing that this is all contained within God, within the heart, and within the presence and power of the One. And so allowing all of these things, all of these ways of being and appreciating life itself, knowing that within surrender, that allows the heart to come forward. That allows the highest and best to show up. And accepting that which is as a grounded place from which to start, and embracing all of it as the beauty and variety of life itself. I see beyond appearances. I see the truth within each and everything. I allow anything that is anxious or nervous to just disappear into the nothingness that it truly is, and I embrace my health, my wealth, and my body by exercising it and eating well and loving the skin suit in which I express this wonderful life. And I am so grateful, and I release this, and so it is.
My affirmative prayer is to stay active, stay healthy, stay financially stable, stay connected to God and my entire family. And so it is. That there is only one wholeness. It is an all-encompassing, all-inclusive, and it represents the nature of the universal principle of being. And since I am one with that which it is, I know intuitively that which provides total wholeness and health of being, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. And this naturally conveys itself to my family, my friends, the world at large. So I give thanks for knowing right here and now this is not something that may or will happen. It has already occurred in the mind of God, and now I am the instrument, clear, willing, accepting, and grateful that it is already done and now manifests throughout my physical world, and so it is.
So, this is another request for coming into 2025, and this person would like to have in their life courage, consistency, connection, compassion, and clarity. And that's a good thing to know. What we have in our minds to be in our lives is going to be there more readily, because what we put in our thought process is reaching out to the spiritual oneness that we know to be God and coming back to us. The more we do it, the more it's going to be there. And this is the way life is. This is the way we live life. And this is the way that it makes life perfect for all of us and for everyone in it. So thank you, and have a good one.
Have a good one. Okay, I like that. Oh. Okay, this says yes. Well, I like that. I like that. Let's close our eyes and let's affirm with absolute certainty that the answer is always yes. Above and beyond the appearance of what's happening, I accept everything that happens as a divine gift, a gift to learn, a gift of thought, of going within, going deeper, or a gift of absolute joy. It's all good. It's all God. And I say yes. And so it is.
You know, the ones we pull are the ones that relate to us the most. This is to release fear and replace with peace, love, and understanding. Sounds like a great song. So anyway, what I want right here and right now already exists within me. So every time when I am reactive to something, I just take a deep breath and look at reality. That thank you for this awakening of what within me creates the fear, creates unease, creates everything that is unlike I want. And then I immediately go to that affirmation. Thank you for sharing, but the truth is I am brave, I am strong, and gosh darn it, people just love me. And so it is.
All right, on this joyful note. So this is, I am gratefully receiving a new year, releasing control and choosing to live in revealing of what is, and living in love only, forgiving everything, and remembering who I am. And so this is obviously from someone who's part of the Global Truth Center, and I am just grateful right here, right now, for the power of God and for the ideas coming forth here, the expressions coming forth here in this group where we are holding the high watch, knowing that anything stated, anything requested is possible because it is present right now in our minds, in our speaking, and in our allowing it to be. And so as I know this, I just know that this year, this coming year, 2025, is going to be that place of freedom from those things which have held us hostage in the past. Just knowing that it's in the past, and right now, today, I am free from control, free from fear, free from having to hold on, free from having to be perfect. And so as I know this, I am grateful, I release it, and together we say, and so it is.
My prayer is to allow myself to let go and let God, and there's another part of that, to let go and let God be God as me. And so in this aspect of recognition and unification with that which I call God, spirit, rooted nature, infinite intelligence, unconditional love, I know that is the nature of this universal principle of life as it really is designed out of the mind of God to be through and by means of all of creation. So I willingly allow myself to be that clear vessel through which the divine simply surrenders to the greater idea today and always. I let go of what has formerly been if it does not completely serve, rather than continuing to let it permeate my consciousness. I now establish a new pattern that reflects the wholeness, the harmony, the willingness to surrender and let go and let God be God as me. It already is, has always been, and shall forevermore be. And so for this aspect of serving in this way, being that which allows, welcomes, and gives thanks for the action of infinite intelligence and divine love, the divine presence and universal power, I am so deeply grateful. And for those who stand here in harmony and unity, as well as those who sit and are aware that there is something beyond appearances that recognizes the overall protective, guiding, directing, and loving life force that seeks only that there be life and life more abundantly. And so I give thanks for this time together, truly devoted to surrendering to the power and presence of God, being forever more willing to do the practices that reflect the perfection that has always been and shall forevermore be. Perfect God, perfect mind, perfect body, perfect essence. I give thanks all prayers were answered even before asked for. And for this and more than words can express, I simply remember to simply become ever more of that which I am divinely designed to be, the wholeness of life, the joy of restored well-being, one peace, one life, one mind, one being. It always is designed for the greater idea to move forth, blessing, healing, uplifting, one and all. Love points the way, and the law of life makes the way possible, for which I am eternally blessed, knowing this all is already so, and so it is.
Let us pass the basket. We're passing the baskets now. Oh, for offering, because of the time, it's almost noon. So.
Time is of no essence when one is affirming the infinite. So before we pass the basket, I do have a follow-up, as I started last week, in requesting year-end donations. I'm very much aware that I'm talking to the Church of Religious Science, Center for Spiritual Living, whatever you call it, and I'm preaching to the choir at the same time. However, it's never that within ourselves that doesn't have more to give. And so in that consciousness, the financials that reflect last year are very interesting because they show there is much in reserve that is the balance we are presently looking at, which is $3,600. And guess what the income has been at the conclusion of the year? $3,600. So the reserves we once had are gone. There's really living from week to week. And I think we can all do better. So invite your friends to come and see where you can find it in your heart and soul. Even if you were to increase your donations literally by $1 or $2 from what you're giving, it's so important in life to incrementally increase what you're used to doing and to allow for that infinite supply, which has yet to be tapped into to its extent. Let it be a greater degree that really sees new people, new consciousness, new influx of financial good. This place can do so much better because we can all do so much better. So thank you for what you already are, what you've done, and let's kick it up. Kick it up.
Sing
Just-
it out. Alberto, are you okay time-wise?
Yes.
Are you okay time-wise? Okay, good. We're going to sing us, you're going to sing us out.
Yes.
Can you come up and do the peace song with us? Thank you.
So,
Let me just real quick, we're skipping the announcements, but next week, my good wife Lynn's going to be speaking. So it'll be a good lesson for us to start the new year.
Yes, we're very excited about you starting our new year, Tootsie. Okay.
And yes, it begins with me. As there is his arm that was meant to be. Let's be family.
my life, and so it is. Woo!
You who are getting up there. What is your name? Thank you for